Hey everybody, Dave here. Today I'm going to be showing you what I think is the ultimate DIY trap stake puller. You know, as a trapper, so many of us are using earth anchors, and this one here happens to be 15 inches long. Earth anchors drive in this way, and then once they're all the way down to where the ground is right about here, then when you pull them, they want to turn sideways like this and lock in the ground. And there's really not much a chance of an animal pulling that out, let alone even a big human being. So what you really need is a trap stake puller in order to get these back. Now, if you don't have the retrievable type, which I don't, and I don't use retrievable type because I don't want anybody to be able to come along and easily steal my traps. So what I've done is I've made my own, okay, out of pipe, and just welded a nut on there, and I've attached 3/32 cable to it, and then I've made my own driver. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive one in here for you, and then I'm going to show you the stake puller that I designed that you can make yourself that really has the advantage over most of the commercially made ones. So let's drive this in and take a look. So basically what I do is I hold the earth anchor tight like this to the driver with my left hand, place it where I want it, which is going to be right here, and I drive it in. Now as you can see, there's a lot of rock here, which makes it even a whole lot more difficult to pull it out. So rather than if it was just clay or loam. Now once I've got it started, I can just let that hang, and I'll drive it in. Now this is 47.5 inches. This pipe, it's 1 inch schedule 40, and what I've done is I've welded on a piece of 1¼ angle iron to the bottom, which is 14 inches long. Now a lot of times the ones you see on the market are built very similar to this one, but what they do is they come up about 18-20 inches, and right here is where they'll put the quick link and a hook that you can use to grab your earth anchor and pull it out of the ground. But being I've gotten up in age, and being I've had some cancer related injuries, I need every advantage I can get. So let me explain to you what I'm talking about. If you look at the length of this pipe, if you would put this hook that you use to pull the stake out all the way up on this end where you're pulling, you'd have zero leverage, okay? If you put it all the way down here at the base plate, you would have 100% leverage. So when you come up here about 18-20 inches and put the hook, okay, you only have about 60% leverage. All right, and I want to be able to utilize the most leverage I can at any time. The thing of it is, this piece is welded on here, and it's really just to disperse the weight across the bottom on the ground, so that when you're lifting up, the pipe doesn't want to sink in the ground. The other thing is, if you start all the way back here, like most commercially available stake pullers are, it takes a whole lot more energy to get that stake up. And the reason they put it back here is so that you can pull it all the way out of the ground at one time. Well, I'm not interested in that. So what I've done is I've modified it. Let me show you what I've done. What I've done is I've welded up a piece on the end here. I bent a U, you can see it here. I bent a U out of about 3/8 flat stock. I welded on a piece of 5/16 U that I bent, and then on top here I welded a piece of 3/8 flat stock. I've welded it inside and outside, and then I tapped it and put a 3/8 threaded bolt in here, and I welded a handle on top. Now what this allows me to do is just loosen this handle and I can move this up or down this pipe any direction. So when I start off pulling, I bring this down almost to the end here. Then I run the top of my trap stake through the cable, through this quick link, and tighten it up. And that gives me almost 100% leverage, where it's very easy to pull out of the ground. So the first thing I want to do is I want to grab the cable loop and I want to slip it inside the quick link. Now, if you're going to use rebar, usually you have a nut or something on there, and you would just make this bigger so that it would slide through the opening and then down the bottom. Tighten it up, and you have to tighten it up, and then what's going to happen is that washer is going to be here and grab to lift up. Okay, if you're running specifically rebar and this isn't a big enough opening, you can use a clevis. It looks like a U with the bolt that goes through the end up here. I like the quick link because it's longer and my trap beds are usually deeper, so it allows me to get down in there. Now all I have to do is adjust this to where I want it, and for the first pull I want as much leverage as I can get, so I'm going to fasten it right here. As you can see, now I'll just pull and get things started. I'll slide this over a little more, move this back a couple more inches, bring this in as tight as I can to the hole. Now when I lift, it'll come straight up. And as you can see, this is really tough ground. Most people don't have this issue. Okay, now I'll bring it up a little more. And you can see, look at this ground. The whole ground is coming up. That's how much leverage I have on this. And there you go. That is a tremendous amount of force to pull that up. And yet I was able to do it with this puller. So as you can see, this design here with the sliding hook allows you the utmost in leverage. You can fine tune it to specifically what you need. I'm a little winded because I'm on disability, and if a guy like me can pull that ground up like that using a lever device, then this is going to be working for you as well. So guys, I just want to leave you with that. I hope you liked the content today, and if you did, put a little comment in the description below. We'd love to hear from you. Love to see if there's a way maybe you can come up with a better design, or if you like this one, we'd appreciate the encouragement. So thanks so much for joining, and I want you to remember, you know, creation is God's playground for you and I. It helps us not only to develop our passions about what's been placed in us by Him, but it helps us to discover Him more deeply. You know, if you look in the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 20, it talks about creation, and it talks about the fact that through creation we can see God's power, His invisible attributes, and who He is, so that you and I are without excuse. We don't have any excuse not to come to know God. And you know what? I'd encourage you to try and do so this week. As you sit out in creation, as you are on the trap line, or wherever it is you're going to be out in the outdoors, I'd really encourage you to take the time to get to know Him. And you know, if you're not sure how to do that, I just want to encourage you. I have a free gift for you. I've written a book called Growing Deep. It's down in the description below. All you got to do is click on it and download it and read it. There's no email that you have to give me or any information. It's my gift to you so that you might know the joy that I have in knowing Jesus Christ. So guys, I hope this video was helpful to you in many ways. And until next time, thanks so much and God bless.